everybody out there in YouTube land. Jake of the OneManBand is back again, and welcome to another edition of RWBY Feedback, where I give feedback on your guys' comments that you left me on the most previous of the episodic reviews of RWBY. So, let it be known, I am sick. So, I'm probably going to be taking some breaks in between these, so if things change in the background, that is why. And if I just spurt into a coughing fit, you know. So if anybody else out there has a cold or anything like that, I feel for you. Even I get sick. I am not perfect. But let's start reading some comments. Avatar, The Legend of Amber. Everything changed when the Chaos Syndicate attacked. It's funny. It's a good one. I like that. So, based on this episode, I have a theory. The red symbol on Cinder's glove was a summoning. Similar to Naruto, she summons a Grimm from another location. This would explain why Raven's portal looked the same and why she wore a Grimm mask. She was researching the world of Grimm. I also believe access can only be granted by using parts of Grimm, something normally impossible as Grimm disintegrate, deviscerate, after dying. Or maybe it's a result of a type of shadow dust, made by combining all four types of dust. Also, I believe the maidens and dusts are also related to the Grimm, as Cinder said, yes, we will reclaim what is ours. Edit! Just checked back. It seems Raven also appeared out of a portal as she arrived. Almost like Yang summoned her. Alright, so let me just get this out of the way. A lot of people have been commenting recently about the possibility of the Grimm being from another world or parallel dimension. So, the Grimm come to Remnant through portals. I think probably like the Oblivion Gates from Oblivion, how the demons and the monsters come through the portals into the world of Mundus from the Oblivion plane. Kind of the same concept applies with the creatures of Grimm, which kind of would make sense on the fact that they would disintegrate, deviscerate when they die, because they are not technically of this world. So then when they die, they have to go back to their original world or something like that. But that still opens up a lot of questions, like how does this world exist? When did portals start to open? How did they start to open? How is it that humans were able to then harness this power to put in the glove or with Raven's mask? It just opens up a lot of questions. But the idea of the Grimm world is definitely one that we should keep in mind. I think that the Black family is a family of assassins. The cybernetic legs are their weapons, and there's a tradition after the son receives his legs and his training is complete, he is to kill his father in a fight to the death where he becomes a master assassin. That would make a lot of sense on why the battle took place and such, but then it also makes you think. That seems a bit destructive on the grounds of a family of assassins, where a son must kill his father to truly be a good assassin. I mean, I think at some point that tradition would be broken because a son would be like, I don't want to be an assassin, Dad! Or, I don't want to kill you, Dad. Why do I have to do that? Is there some law of the universe that has for me to kill you to be an assassin? I mean, I believe Mercury killed his father because he had a beef with his father and he didn't like his father, and so in a fit of rage he killed him. I don't think it'd be a tradition because, once again, what if the Black family, what if there was multiple children? What if there was like 2 boys and a girl? Would the eldest son become a master assassin killing his father and the younger son not receive the training? I mean, there are a lot of holes in that idea, but the idea that it's a family of assassins does kind of make sense. What if Cinder is actually talking to herself? as if maybe she's some sort of walking portal or beacon for Lord Grimm. Now, once again, with the whole Lord Grimm, Grimm World theory, I don't think she would talk to herself, like telling herself that I want to be powerful, I want to be strong, I want to be feared. I don't think she'd really say that to herself. I think she would say that to someone who she went to in order to gain power, to gain strength. She would tell that to someone. And probably she was talking to Lord Grimm or whatever boss that she has. You forgot to mention Cinder's black glass semblance / power that she used in the fight against Amber. Yes, I did. I apologize about that. But here's the thing. Back in Volume 2, when RWBY was describing the fight she had with Cinder, the black glass power that she used, she said it didn't seem to be her semblance.
But I know she fought with glass. I don't think that was her semblance, though.
But then again, she was using that power before she acquired Amber's maiden powers. So was that just a mistake on the writing department's part or on RWBY's part? Because a power like that would definitely be a semblance-like power. So I believe that you are right, that the black glass use is definitely a semblance in some way. On Crow's picture, we can see Raven without her semblance activated. Her eyes aren't pink, red, or lightish red, whatever we like to say, like Crow's. They are yellow, almost gold, like Cinder's. Just saying. This kind of goes more toward the idea that I have that Cinder and Raven are sort of related. Also, I believe the skin color, extremely pale, of Raven and the gloves Cinder used on Amber are in relation. In the fact that they're white, the portals could have some relation with blood. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying in the episode, in the review, is that the portal's semblance or power could be hereditary, as in it's passed down through bloodlines and such. So that would make sense that Cinder and Raven have similar powers and also similar type eyes. This episode really makes me mad. Why? Because Mercury uses a Phillips screwdriver on flathead screws. Well, did you ever stop to wonder that maybe he's just very determined and the screws are going to screw no matter what? But yes, that is a little nitpick that would drive me crazy, and I didn't realize it until after I made the review. So I just try not to think about it, because then the rage continues to build and it will overcome your life. So, words of wisdom. I might be labeled a crackhead for this, but hear me out. What if Cinder is a Grimm? Cinder says to Emerald that she should question everything she knew. Then the screen turns black and we hear growling and snarling, with Emerald saying that that is impossible. Later, when Cinder summons a parasitic Grimm, could it have been her true form? And Cinder is just some poor human who got turned into a host for her. Or Cinder is a Grimm in disguise, and she can spawn little insect ones. Either way, both theories are unsettling. And Jake is right. Me? I'm right about something? Everything is at the tipping point, and I have a feeling that in the last episode of the volume, or in a couple of episodes, something will happen that will change everything in Remnant, and nothing will be the same anymore. Also, who or what is Cinder talking to? A human? A faunus? Or, God forbid, an intelligent Grimm capable of speech? Well, a lot of people believe that maybe she's talking to Lord Grimm. She may be talking to some other human that is just higher up on the food chain than her. But your idea of Cinder being a Grimm does make a lot of sense. I mean, that would explain why a Grimm would spawn out of that portal. But then again, we've seen those portals other places. So that could just be left to speculation. But then again, the idea that she says that she tells Emerald to question everything, and then we hear growling and snarling, that does kind of work. So maybe Cinder does have some form of relation with the Grimm. It's something that we should also look at and keep talking about. There's a lot of stuff that we're going to have to keep talking about. Please read! I have 3 theories. 1, the boss who Cinder is working for is based off Loki. What kind of Loki? You mean this Loki or this Loki? Or maybe this Loki. Whether or not Loki's gender is swapped, like they did for Nora, is up in the air. 2, Cinder is going to make the huntsmen / headmasters look bad through their students, thus making the normal citizens distrust them and attract even more Grimm. I do, yes, believe that. That's one of the fundamental ideas that I have about this volume, is that Cinder is making the huntsmen look bad so that the people won't trust them as much, because once again, the huntsmen are something that binds humanity together, keeps them united and not divided. So the huntsmen are definitely something more important than just monster killers. 3, if RWBY is going to go dark, we may lose a few characters. I am totally aware of this and will accept it. I think it's going to be one member of Team Juniper, if not all of them. I have 2 main reasons for this. For one thing, each character they are based on do not have a happy ending. Joan gets burned at the stake, Achilles gets shot in his weak spot, Thor is poisoned after defeating the Jormungand, I think that's what it is. I'm pretty sure that's the giant snake on Ragnarok. Yes, people, let it be known that in ancient mythology, Thor freaking dies. Let that settle in for a while. And even Mulan commits suicide. My other reason for this theory is the new opening of RWBY, when Team RWBY and Juniper are holding hands as they fall, and the later of the one who lets go for some unknown reason, and we do not see what becomes of them afterwards. Yes, yes indeed, the foreboding nature of the opening is definitely sound, and the idea that Team Juniper is going to come out of this volume unscathed is pretty low. I think, if not one of their teammates dying, one of them is going to be changed forever. Now, this could be any of them. It could be Pyrrha, because she may end up taking on Amber's second half of her soul, so she'll be forever changed. Either way, things aren't looking good for Team Juniper. And I'm kind of saddened by that. Do you think that it is possible that the eye in the portal is just an effect for all portals and has no meaning? I must agree with 90% of the internet. No, there must be a meaning. There must be a meaning to that. I'm so sick I can't even pronounce words correctly. But the whole idea of the eye being in the symbol could very well maybe nothing. But it's the symbol that's important, and what makes up the symbol is important. So, I hope that answers your question. It seems to me that Amber's attempt to kill Emerald is symbolic of the futility of vengeance. She was very busted up with a broken aura and all, but she might have missed her last chance to escape because of that fit of rage. Yeah, she could very well have escaped if she wanted to, but instead she wanted to take out her attackers. So maybe Amber had an anger problem. Kind of like somebody else I know. So does this mean that Yang is going to be taken down when she goes into a fit of fury? All you Yang lovers out there are truly hating me right now, aren't you? Totally agree with the theory about people trying to steal the power of the seasonal maidens. Well, that isn't really a theory. They kind of stated that in, the last episode 6, when Ozpin was telling Pyrrha about the history of the maidens, that people would want to try to take their power so that they could use it. So it's not so much as a theory as it is a fact. But if you mean forcibly taking the maiden's powers, that might be a new thing that's happening, or it could have been a tale of it's something that's been done for generations. It just hasn't been done in a while. So many what ifs. I've long thought that it wasn't the first time someone's stolen or tried stealing the power of the maidens. I think Raven did long ago when she killed Summer Rose, the supposed Summer Maiden. That's why you see such an animosity towards Raven, at least on Crow's part. That makes sense. Summer Rose is killed off by one of her teammates who wanted her power, and that would mean that RWBY isn't the Summer Maiden yet, or doesn't have any maiden powers, and it would explain why Crow has animosity towards her. But if you've seen the Next Time on RWBY video that just came out a few days ago, or maybe it was 1 day ago, well, by the time this video comes out, it'll be a few days ago, Crow's gonna talk to Yang about Raven. So I look forward to that. I think the horse went to get Crow. That's a smart horse then. Look at that horse. That horse is amazing. Give it a lick. Just because we learned Emerald Semblance doesn't mean that Neo Semblances and illusions. Emerald can create something like a hallucination. Only the person she's targeting can see it, whereas everyone sees what is really there. Neo, on the other hand, can create full-scale, physical, tangible illusions that can be perceived by multiple people. In other words, Emerald gives you an acid trip, and Neo makes really good holograms. That would make sense, because I do believe that Neo's semblance has something to do with illusions, or something along those lines, because of what we've seen of Neo's powers. She can change others' perception of things. And even though Emerald's may be more believable and cater to the person who has it done on, Neo's may be more broad. So we'll definitely have to look for more examples that would suggest towards this theory. I think Cinder can talk only to us. She talks to the viewers of RWBY. So you're telling me that she can break the fourth wall? Is she Deadpool? Do you think RWBY is going to take Yang's place in the tournament? I mean, Yang probably won't be allowed to fight in the tournament anymore. Weiss got injured in the Team Funky fight, and Blake doesn't like being in the spotlight. Or will Cinder's team be named the winners in the fight because of Yang's actions? Well, I don't think that Cinder's team would be named the champion just due to that, because there was plenty of other runner-ups and finalists that can easily fight for the crown. But bringing in other members of the respective teams to take their place, I'm not sure that'll actually go, because due to Yang's actions, all of Team RWBY's members could be called into question. Like, I mean, this girl went crazy. Who's to say that her teammates won't go crazy? Because they all work together. I think, if anything, Team RWBY is going to be taken out of the tournament completely. But if indeed they do stay in the tournament, I do think that RWBY is the most possible candidate to take Yang's place. So yeah. Is anyone else mad that Neo didn't get a backstory, or at least talk in this episode? All in good time, my dear friend. All in good time. I want to know about Neo as much as any of you, even more. But we must be patient. Neo is a far more mysterious character, and a character that has not been around long enough in bad guy wise in order to get backstory. I think they're saving her backstory until she's more prevalent as a character, until she's more soiled, like rooted in the story. Are we just not gonna talk about how the lieutenant should have recognized Blake on the train and no brakes? Well, he probably did recognize her, but I mean, he was probably too busy fighting, because like as soon as they entered the train car and he was there, it's like they knew they had to fight him, and it's not like he could have been like Blake, you are here. Now you must join back with the whatever. It's like he was on a mission, and that mission was to protect Roman Torchwick. Plus, he saw Weiss Schnee with Blake. So he was probably more concentrated on like, well, forget this traitor. I'm gonna kill this girl because her father, is a part of the Schnee Dust Company, and she's more important to kill now. But if anything, I think that the White Fang Lieutenant would take this knowledge and take it to Adam. The White Fang Lieutenant doesn't seem to be a man of words as much as a man of action, and Adam is probably more the type for words. Is it possible that in Season 2, when Pyrrha fought Mercury, she knows about Mercury's cyborg legs due to her semblance? Will Pyrrha be the one to get Yang out of trouble? Well, that is a possibility, and she may in fact know that his legs are entirely metal. But, as Mercury puts it, he said that she controlled his boots. So maybe her semblance power only went as far as his metal boots and didn't get the rest of his legs. I mean, that's only a possibility, but Pyrrha coming to Yang's aid is definitely a possibility. But I think Pyrrha has enough on her mind with like the whole seasonal maidens thing being dropped in her lap. So she may have to work through that before she tries to help Yang. Man, why do you people want Yang to be helped so much? I think if you look closer, Mercury's legs are bleeding at the knees and below the knees. His cyborg legs go above them, so I think his dad had at some point broken them and they healed so that Mercury killed his dad and re-injured them. And Cinder gave him cyborg legs. Well, it could make sense, but I mean, that would mean that he would have to go, like, his legs would then have to be amputated, and then he would have to go through months, if not years, of physical therapy and rehabilitation to get his legs back in working order. Freaking science works in Remnant, and I don't know how recovery rate works. I'm just saying that to have a prosthetics like that, it would take time to heal, time to get used to them. I don't know. Like, to be honest, when he got his cyborg legs, I don't know, and I don't think it truly matters. What matters is that he has cyborg legs and that he wasn't really injured during the fight, and Yang was framed. I think that's what truly matters, not when he got the legs. But who do you think Roman is talking to when he says, "Well, hello, gorgeous"? My cousin thinks he is talking into a mirror. That's a joke. Well, if we take a listen to the clip, we can use context clues to figure it out. Roll the clip.
Well, hello, gorgeous.
I have an associate in Vale.
He's talking to Cinder. Or Emerald. Probably Cinder, though. Context clues, my friends. Let's use them. I was thinking, it is possible that Raven is only an illusion created by Emerald. It would explain why she was able to use those portals like Cinder. Granted, I don't know why that would be useful to Cinder aside from the destabilizing Yang, but if Cinder was trying to get Yang out of the picture, then she can do it very easily just by having Yang follow Raven to a trap. Let me just stop you right there, my friend. Raven is not an illusion made by Emerald. Here's the reasons why. Raven appeared on the train. Emerald was at Beacon. There's a distance thing, and I think Emerald has to be in close proximity to the person in order for illusions to work. 2. Neo saw Raven. Emerald's semblance can only affect one person. 2 people is a stretch. And one of those people was unconscious. Yang was unconscious. So I don't think her semblance would work on Yang, making Raven appear. And we've seen the picture of Raven in Crow's picture. So we know that she is a real person, and she was actually there. It's good that you're making theories and trying to think of things, but this one is just wrong. So a lot of you people made comments like this, and I just chose this one at random. Jake was right about Mercury's legs. Are you psychic? Well, no, I'm not psychic. I just try to pick up on little clues that would make things make sense. And him blocking Yatsuhashi's strike was definitely a major sign that something wasn't quite right with this picture. Also, little medic Neo looks really adorable in a nurse outfit. Waifu status. It just grows. No, call that horse Shadowfax. Oh, my dear Robert Wood. Shadowfax, the horse from Lord of the Rings, can only be ridden by the Lords of the Mark, or by Gandalf. Gandalf was the only exception Shadowfax presented with, and he chooses who rides on his back, not the other way around. Then again, that would make sense that he would take upon a seasonal maiden and allow them to ride on his back. But Shadowfax was never bridled or saddled. He's always ridden bareback. Ha ha ha, my dear friend. Am I more of a nerd now? While your reviews are great, I would love to see you do blind reactions. Do you mean blind reactions to RWBY episodes? Because I honestly won't do that, because I like to watch the episode and then like rewatch it a few times, and while I'm taking down notes. I think doing a blind reaction would really take out a lot of the mystery for my reviews, because if I did one, then I can't really do the other, because I'd just be talking about the same things. But if you don't mean blind reactions of RWBY episodes, I do reaction videos. There's actually a playlist link somewhere on the screen, I guess, take you to it. I don't think the arrow impacted Amber's spine. I just think it might have hit a kidney, or just the muscle. Well, I mean, you are free to have your own opinion on this, but at this point, it doesn't really matter, because Amber's a vegetable either way. Whether she was hitting the kidney, or the muscle, or the spine, her powers were still stolen, and she's a vegetable now. So, I guess it doesn't truly matter. Also, if Raven is in league with Cinder, why was Neo going to kill Yang? Wouldn't she have had orders not to kill Yang, and or certain people? Well, it's not like Raven knew that Team RWBY was going to find the train and try to stop their plans. I mean, she was probably observing from afar, and once she saw that things were going the way they were, she decided to step in. I mean, it's not like she can just tell Neo not to kill intruders of their plans. Neo does what she wants. Wow, when I read review, I didn't want to watch it. But then I've seen the time being above 20 minutes. So I thought that there was a live footage with reaction plus review. But these are really 30 minutes of review. Jesus, sorry man, review's not my thing. I mean, how could a review go longer than the whole episode itself? Well, my friend, it's because there's a lot to break down, a lot to analyze, a lot of things to see and think about. I mean, you not liking my reviews or not wanting to take the time to watch them, that's fine by me. But the way I do reviews, they're gonna be long. I mean, I'm sorry about that. I try to make them as quick and to the point as possible, but sometimes you just gotta talk about a lot of stuff. Next episode, I wish Revan would come to get Yang or something. Now, I know this is probably like a misprint, like, you know, you accidentally pressed the E button, but Revan coming to get Yang? We talking about a Star Wars RWBY crossover? Because Revan is the best character in Star Wars? I would love to see that! Alright, so a lot of you people made comments that were along these lines of, you don't believe that Raven is in league with Cinder or anything along those lines. And I agree that the stretch that they're working together is indeed a stretch. But there is still the fact of a lot of facts and just little things that kind of connect them, like the portals. Those two kind of connect them because they're both similar. The whole concept that Raven appears out of nowhere to save Yang at the right moment is kind of coincidence. But yes, to your guys' credit, the evidence going towards the theory that Raven and Cinder are working together is pretty slim. We would need to know more about Raven to either strengthen this theory or completely destroy this theory. But I think in the next episode we may get to learn a little bit more about Raven. And a lot of you people are actually wondering how I can think that. How can I even think that Raven is in league with Cinder? Why do I want Raven to be bad? Well, maybe it's not the concept that I want Raven to be bad. Maybe I just want to crush Yang's soul. Jake, question for you. At the end, Cinder says she and Emerald would be fighting in the next match. Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't they allowed to have only one member of their team fight in the final round, which in this case was Mercury? Well, I think you may have misheard. Cinder was telling Emerald that they had to go back to make sure the final rounds kind of go as they want them to go. So, the fact, I think, is that Emerald's going to continue to use her semblance to affect the fights and what happens in them. But if a member is to replace Mercury, it may be Emerald, because she was part of the doubles round and may be the most prevalent fighter. But I think in this case you may have just heard things wrong. I love your review, but I have a question. Will you continue to do your RWBY song theories? I would love to see you do one on Red Like Roses Part 2 or Boop. I'm a shipper at heart. Keep up your good work, you're doing awesome. Well, I would love to do more song reviews, but the series right now is kind of dominating my life. Because, like, I do 2 of these videos a week, and they take a long time to do, and they're very time-consuming. So, I mean, I do the actual review, and then I do this feedback video. So, and I still work 2 jobs besides this. Like, real-world jobs out there. So, as of my schedule right now, I don't think I'll be able to get into any song reviews until the actual series, like this volume, concludes, and we then have the time between volumes. Then I'll be able to concentrate on songs and fan theories and all the stuff that I missed in the series. So, right now, probably not going to happen, but in the future, very good possibility. From this day forth, let the Cramber ship be a thing. What have I done? What have I done? Well, you guys, I think this is going to end this feedback video. I apologize if it was shorter than any of the others. It's just throat starting to die, and I just have other stuff I need to work on. So, I hope that you enjoyed either way. I enjoyed reading all these comments. I read more than I commented on. Don't you worry. I try to read every single comment and just reply to the ones that really catch my eye or the ones that I think are really important. So, until next time, be sure to like and favorite if you've enjoyed. Subscribe, of course, if you feel inclined to. I'll see you guys next time I'm out there in YouTube land. Check out my Facebook group, Team Theory, where you can go and be a fan of RWBY, fanboy all over that group. And also check out my Patreon page. And for my Patreon sponsors, I want to thank you immensely for supporting me like this. Especially big thanks to Grant Allen Hill and Duncan Eschler. So, thank you for supporting me on Patreon, and you guys are awesome. And for the rest of you out there, be sure to like and favorite if you've enjoyed. Subscribe, of course, if you feel inclined to. be a good person, tip your waitresses, keep moving forward, and I'll see you next time I'm out there in YouTube land. Hopefully I won't be sick. I'll see you then. Yeah! I can't do that.